let's start talking about cybersecurity. Let's deep dive somehow here in the SOC and the threat detection. So let me start first introducing myself. My name is Omar Awad. I'm working as a cybersecurity consultant with more than 12 years experience in the cybersecurity general. Uh, my main, I can say, work and focus in the oil and gas sectors and the insurance. So this is both is my, I can say, my focus when I'm working in the cybersecurity. So mainly I'm providing consultation. How can we build a secure posture for these companies and entities? How can we do the investigation, building the SOC, the incident response team, training them in the best practices? So all of these things, it is coming under the consultation and the cybersecurity. So most likely we're doing, I can say, building the SOC team, the SOC playbook, I can say, finding out the correct and I can say the good tool that gonna be used from the SOC team. We do the training for them. How can they do handle it? We're building the incident response plan for these companies and the entity. And at the end of the day, we are trying to make sure that these company and entity they are secure and away from the adversary, the attackers. They keep their reputation high and safe. We trying to avoid any, I can say, financial loss for all of these customers. So that's the today's session is about how can we be proactive. So it's moving from being awaiting uh, the attack or the incident to be having at your side, then you start dealing with it. So the first concept that we might talk about is the difference between, I can say, how can I be proactive and how can I be a good defender? Because there's a huge difference between them. And what I'm trying to say here, guys, that when you are being a proactive approach, or when you're working in a proactive, you can say, environment, that means you're not waiting until you have an incident, then you will activate the incident response plan to handle or to deal with this incident. But you have to be more proactive and you're looking for threat hunting. You are trying to hunt the threats and you are trying to find out where's your gaps, where's your vulnerability, and trying to make sure that you fix it, close it before it's being exploited by the attacker or by the adversary. And today, when we talk about the cybersecurity, it's very wide right now, and we all agree that the cybersecurity is booming and it's the future. So what I'm trying to say, and like in the next slide, I will show you how come that some businesses they are just having or making revenue by providing a service from some type of attack. So in the cybersecurity, you have to be you have to be very picky in your selection with your tools, with your vendors, with your partner, and with your employees. So when we say that, uh, what basic thing that you have to get to start building a SOC or to start building, I can say, a good type of team that handling your SOC. So let's start talking more about the threat landscape or what is the most challenging that the SOC team or I can say the SOC culture that might face. So first of all, right now, you know all guys that the AI is used everywhere. Everyone is using AI. So if even it's a Copilot, ChatGPT, whatever is the tool, everyone is using it. So the most critical thing that people and government are looking for putting the governance and the boundaries for the AI in a place because they want to make sure that the using of AI is not misused by the hacker and by the adversary to use this capability for the AI to make a phishing. So one of the most common, I can say, and distributed like attack, it's the social engineering or the phishing, and it's becoming more and more clever and near the real, I can say, emails when we're using the AI for the phishing. attack. So it's about making it very hard for the controls, for the systems, or for the people to feel that this is a phishing or this is a social engineering. That's mean using the AI, make the phishing attack or the phishing emails more stringent so it can bypass somehow this, I can say the controls, the EDR, the mail security or whatever, and it will be received until like received for, I can say the users. So one of the examples that today was happening to me, an email sent for the users saying that your bonus for 22-25. So you have to fill out this form to calculate or to be included for the bonus. And let's be very honest, guys. Who gonna skip this email? It's about bonus. So they trying to find out some pain point for the users. That's mean they trust it. And it's about they change 2 to 3 characters in the domain that was sent from this email, and it's bypass the controls there. And but we are lucky. We have some picky and I can say active user. They do report this phishing email, and it was currency, and then we have like getting this I can say emails from their inboxes without any impact. And the second thing is about the polymorphic malware that's been type. I can say the diversity of the malware that is right now is existing. So when you say about the malware, it's about a huge type of malwares. And we talk about the zero-day malware, which is the most dangerous type of the malware. That's mean it's an malware that have been changing. The signature for this malware is it's have been changed frequently or recently, or it's a new virus or a new malware that have been created from the adversary or the attacker to use it in I can say in an attack. And the most critical part here, guys, when you talk about the zero-day malware, it is the signature for this the signature for this malware is still unknown for anyone, even the EDR, even the antivirus, even for the mail security, for all of these security entities. So where is the challenge here, Omar? Say that, okay, if it's unknown, that means it will be bypassing these controls. So we have to follow something called behavior. So what is the behavior here? So like general wise, the antiviruses and the controls, they are working in two different approach, which is the signature mode and the behavior. The signature mode is about having a database that having all of the signature for the bad files, and if any files that's gonna go to like inbox to environment or whatever, it should be scanned, by the antivirus. And if this signature are existing in this database, it will be directly blocked or quarantined, and it will be removed from your site. But if it's not existing, or the hacker or the adversary change this, I can say this signature, it will bypass. Like what I can do, Omar, here to be more secure, because right now it's easy to make a virus or to create or to change the signature for a virus. That we have to go for something called behavior. I can say analysis. How can I do the behavior analysis? It's about having sandboxing. That's mean in a simple way that the EDR that having the behavior signature, they do a test for this, I can say the behavior for this file. So they go for a signature, for a sandbox. Sandbox is an isolated platform that you can test your files there without any impact. And you start doing some acts or interaction with this file. And if the behavior is looking like legitimate, I will let go to my environment. Otherwise, let's say if you have an open and PDF, and from nowhere when you open the PDF, there is an exe program running in the background, or there's a service that starts initiating an outbound connection with a malicious IP. This is the behavior. So the usual behavior when you open the PDF, it's about opening the PDF reader program. This is the only thing that should be open. Or let's say one of the bad, I can say behavior, the PDF file, when you open it, start duplicate itself in multiple locations. So this is the behavior that we are talking about. That's mean the new generation of the EDR that's monitoring the signature and the behavior. So we have to be very careful. Everyone should have, or every, I can say, entity should have, I can say, the sandbox to test out these malwares before it's going to the platform. So Omar, let's talk about personal items. If I'm working at home and I'm using my personal laptop and I receive an offer from a company, X company, and I'm not sure if it's infected or what, how can I test this offer, job offer, or whatever PDF file or attachment in my email? I said that's easy. You can go for virus total, upload your file, and there is an option in the virus total that having the sandbox for free for you. It takes some time, so between 4 to 5 minutes to scan, depends on the size of the file, to scan your file and think that we do the behavior. I can say this for your file and it's working fine, you can use it. So this is something is very important right now to have the personal level. So the first challenge is the AI and the diversity of the malware type. Second, which is very weird and like if you can imagine, guys, that right now there is a businesses that providing a ransomware as a service. And Omar, who's gonna use the ransomware as a service? He said, yeah, there is an threat actor called the cyber criminal. That means they are acting or they are just looking for a financial gain. So they go for these companies that are providing a ransomware as a service and say, guys, I need you to create a ransomware for, I can say, for a specific, let's say, industry, and I want you to start sending it for a list of, I can say, victims. And at the end of the day, I have to pay for you. So it's a SaaS service right now, you know? So we know about the SaaS service, which is the software as a service, a platform as a service, PaaS, or security as a service. But right now we do have a ransomware as a service. So these people, they use or they have a service, a SaaS one. Let's say that we can create a ransomware for you. We can do the payload, the delivery, and everything, and you can take the benefits from there, and you have to pay for us even subscription or depends on their business model. And this is something is very, very dangerous. And the second part is the supply chain breaches. The supply chain attack in a simple word, that's mean, let's assume that Google or let's go for Microsoft. Microsoft, they have a new updates and they test the updates and they have to push these updates for all of the subscriber or all of the like you can say the users there. So the hacker, they come to this updates and they try to make it, I can say, infected by a virus or a ransomware. So when it's published, it's looking like a legitimate because it's coming from Microsoft. At the end of the day, it's having some malware like or backdoor or antivirus inside it, which is it's very like critical because everyone will trust Microsoft and they say that for sure they have tested before they publish it, and no one will think about the supply chain, which is very critical. And they usually go for multiple layers of testing and sending for a test environment before we sending or before they push for everyone. And the third one is about the file list or the memory resistant attacks. That's mean some type of the attacks, they don't leave or they don't, or what I can say here is they use the attack without leaving any artifact or files. That's mean they're trying to use the memory resistant, like the memory that is existing in this victim without leaving any files. That's mean when you go for the digital forensic and you're looking for the artifact, you're looking for any evidences, you can't find anything. That's mean the threat actor will be can, can say unknown for you, which mean there is a chance that you will be reinfected with the same virus. And the fourth one, which is for me one of the most common right now type of challenging for the SOC, which is 60% of attack, they exploit a legitimate tool. What do you mean, Amar, by legitimate tool? So as example, if you're using, let's say as example, the CMD, everyone is using the CMD, and if you see an action from the CMD, you will feel like that, okay, this is a legitimate CMD is used by an admin, by user, whatever. But if they are trying to even replicate, even replace, even using this legitimate tool to do these attacks. So let's go for Teams. Everyone right now is using Teams. Let's have another example. Google Chrome. Before 2 weeks, Google Chrome, they announced that they have a huge vulnerability in their, I can say, browser. So a question for you. Most likely 80% of the people that are attending this call is using Chrome. But at the end of the day, it's an application. That means they have a vulnerability. And it was exploited by some attackers and hackers, and they sent for sure new updates to fix or to find out what's going on for this vulnerability. So the attackers, they don't try to make a new tools. They don't know we're gonna do the exploit for the legitimate tool, because it is also it is almost like trust by the user. So if we're gonna go for the second part of the SOC, so the SOC, the Security Operations Center, they are using in specifically the SIM solution. So when we talk about the SIM, it is a place that collecting the logs from all of the devices in your environment in one place, so you can start doing more analyzing for these logs. You can start building use cases for these logs, and at the same time, you are trying to avoid to avoid the hacker to hide or to you can say remove the evidences and the footprint from the infected devices. So you know that the hackers, when they do some bad action in any asset, they would go directly to remove the logs. But to avoid this one, we can do a log collector and an agent for collecting the log in a live or semi-live, for these log to be sent to the SIM solution. So the SIM solution is critical, and it is an essential tool that should be used for the SOC. But the problem here is, or the most challenge in the SIM solution right now for the SOC, is about how many alerts that you are receiving, and how can you triage the alerts here. It is false positive, it is false negative. So this is the most challenge part, which is that traditional SIM, it's no longer enough for the SOC. So because it might be flooded with false positive alerts, which mean when you investigate, you find it as illegitimate. So maybe the hacker, he's trying to send for you an alerts that matches one of the use cases to make you busy with these things, and then he's trying to make something in the background bad to have a backdoor or whatever. So for now, the SIM solution as a traditional is not fair enough. Omar, what we have to do? So the first thing is that the SIM solution should having with its SOAR and having a playbook. We'll talk about the playbook and the SOAR right now, because it should having the automation. So one of the most important things that you have to do in any security or in any environment, you have to merge the automation for your, I can say, security operation first. And if you have the ability to also to involve the AI to make it more, I can say, to make it more proactive or efficient for your SOC team, this will be also a good. But if we're gonna go for the second slide, it's talking about the behavior base that we are already talking about right now. So we have something called, I can say, the UEBA, which is the user, I can say, the UEBA, which is the user behavior. That's mean in the environment, there is a baseline for the behavior for the users inside each environment. So we are looking at this baseline. So as an example, if a user is having 5 times failed login for 5 times per month, this is something is critical as example. Somehow said no, for the privileged account, after 3 failed login, you have directly to look out the account and call the person to make sure what's going on. So if you're looking for this one, this is what we call it the playbook, which is some automation for steps that should be done from the SOAR and the SIM solution. So Omar, can we give us another example? I said, yeah, for sure. So yeah, let's go for Another example. So the case is a critical server that having some outbound traffic communicated with a malicious IP in Russia, as example. Okay, so the playbook, when he start investigate this one, all of these steps are automated without any human interaction. Because in the automation, we're trying to increase the efficiency, decreasing, sorry, the human, I can say, fault, and the human, I can say, error. So the playbook will say that because there's an outbound, this is a critical server, and we scan the IP and this malicious, we have directly to terminate the connection, do the containment for this server, and directly send a red flag for the SOC. All of these called the playbook. That's mean should be taken automatically. So it should be like configured or should be integrated with the software, which is having the orchestration and the automation progress. And the most, like right now, that the most trendy thing is they also integrated the machine learning, which is the software and the playbook is it's good to have, or I can say it's somehow it's must to have. But at the end of the day, you have always, or you have to get the machine learning models to make sure that your SIM solution is learned from what's going on in your environment, because it's totally different from an environment and different environment. And one of the points that is also like, I can say must to have right now. I'm not sure if I'm aggressive when I said must to have, because not everyone is having the threat intelligence. That's mean, you know, guys, that we have the MITRE ATT&CK, which is having the TTP, which is the tactic, technique, and the procedure. All of these TTP is very important for the SOC to find out what's going on, what is the goal, what is the technical tool, what is the technical approach that have been used from the attacker, what is the procedure, the step that he followed to do this attack. And the IOC is the indicator of compromise. But all of this is not enough fair. You have also to feed your SIM solution and your SOAR solution with an threat intelligence feeds. That's mean when I say the threat intelligence, you can go like there is a multiple corporate and vendors that are providing the threat intelligence. They are looking for the malicious activity from the well-known, I can say, threat actors. If someone is leaked any information about your company, your corporate, if someone is looking for your company, if I can say some threat actor, they are trying to target the industry, a specific industry, what is the last trendy, I can say, TTP that was used from the attacker right now? So all of these that can be provided from the threat intelligence tool that you have or you should have inside your environment, which is, it's also for me is not nice to have, it's must to have, and you have to make it somehow, I can say, integrated with the MITRE ATT&CK, which is say that we have the MITRE ATT&CK, this is good to have, and we have to integrate it with the threat, I can say, intelligence. And if we're gonna say about the difference between the EDR and the XDR, so the EDR, it's focusing more in the endpoint, which is the server, the mobiles, the laptops, whatever that you have. They do for you signature and behavior analytic. They do the containment, whatever they have the artifact for you. But somehow in the complex attack, the EDR is not fair enough because it's just having the endpoint, but somehow in the complex attack, they're using multiple entry point, they're using multiple TTP, so it's not that easy to collect all of the log. So the XDR, you're trying to correlate all of the information from different resources. So you go for the SIM, you go for the EDR, the mail security, the firewall. You're trying to find out all of these, you can say, logs. You're trying to correlate them in one place. You're trying to find out and have more visibility about your threat landscape. So for the, I can say, the medium to large entity or corporate, they have to get the XDR because the EDR is not fair enough for them. So I remember, guys, when we talk about the rules. That's mean, which is when there is behavior in your environment that matching one of the rule. The rule that's mean it is built most likely in the TTP. So let's say that when there is say an I can say in an OT. Let's give an example in the OT. If there is an USB inserted for a server, that's mean this is maybe a letter movement, maybe let's say action. So it will be matching one of the use cases or the rules that you have built, and it should be flagged for the SOC to investigate more by calling the site or by investigate what is this what is this flash or hard drive, and then they have to take the action. So it's very also important to find out the rules that was written, and it should be building in the TTP, but to reduce the noise and the false positive, always you have to go for somehow something we called it tabletop exercise. The tabletop exercise, when you're trying to work in a cross-functional team, say that we have a use case. As an example, if there is a disconnection network or disconnection traffic from the firewall, this is the use case. So what's going on for the tabletop? The tabletop is an exercise that done from a multi-point. So as an example, the use case is the firewall is down. Let's say that, okay? And I need to know how can I handle this situation if it's happened. So you have to invite, let's say as an example, let's say the hardware manager, the network manager, the CISO, let's say the support, everyone should be invited to this email. Then you start creating a use case about it. What's the action from each department that should be done? You have to go for discussion. Then you can document this, I can say, let's say exercise about a specific incident. This will also help to minimize the time to detect, or no, sorry, time to resolve, which is the RTO and the RPO. We have two critical, like I say, vocabulary for two critical things that you have to work in inside your environment, which is the RPO and the RTO. The recovery point object and recovery time object. The RTO, it's very important to have, because the RTO, it is what is the time that you want to restore the normal service before the incident. And the RPO, what is the last point that you have to get back for it. So this is also, all of these things should be done before any incident happening at your site, to be more like ready if you're facing an incident. So what is the modern SOC operation? So one of the key metrics that should be done in any SOC, it is the MTTD and the MTTR. Any SOC, I can say modern SOC, they have to have this two key metrics. What is the MTTD and the MTTR? The MTTD, it is mean time to detect and mean time to response. So there is very like critical like things to focus in the mean time to detect. That's mean what is the time that you take to find out or to detect that there is an incident, or there is an, I can say, virus, or there is a malware. So this is called mean time to detect. And mean time to response, that's mean what is the time that you take to respond with this incident, and what time you have to solve this incident. So we have this two key metrics that's very important, especially for the management. So like right now, the SOC, when we have saying that the SOC, you know that we have L1, L2, and L3, which is the L1 is having the basic configuration, the basic, you can say, incident. Then he can start assigning it for L2 or L3, depends on the complexity of this incident. But for the modern one, it's having tireless SOC. So it's about the fusion center. Everyone is working as one unit. There is no L1, L2, L3. They have to be specialized. So in the SOC, there is someone is specialized in the incident response. There is someone who is specialized in the reverse engineering. There is someone who is specialized in the malware analysis. There is someone who is specialized in the threat hunting. There is someone who is specialized in the threat intelligence. So we don't have to build a team in the SOC as a tier, which is L1, L2, L3. No, we have to build it in an experiment and specialized people to cover everything about the operation in the SOC. And for sure, we have to go for the threat hunting and the purple teaming. The threat hunting, that's mean you have to be proactive. You have to find out, let's say, the usual, like the process in any environment, starting with gap analysis. Then you have to go for risk assessment. Then you have to go for vulnerability management. After that, you have to go for, after the vulnerability management, you have to go for SMA, which is the security maturity assessment. Then you have to go for penetration testing. Then you have to go for red teaming. And the last one, you have to go for something a new announced called threat-led pen testing. And this is a requirement from DORA. The threat-led pen testing, it's an exercise that should be done one time per year. And you have to build the war room inside your environment, having the three color, the blue, and the red and the purple team, and they have to go for a full scenarios to make sure that you are like covered with all of the complex and simple scenarios. Yeah, and one more thing that we're gonna talk about, which is the automation playbook. As I mentioned before, what is the automated step that could be done for the containment, the identification, the eradication? All of these should be automated. So what I'm looking for here is to reduce the human interaction. I'm trying to increase, I can say, guys, the automation here. So yeah. Okay, let's go for the second one. I think this is the last slide for today. I'm not sure. I'll just I will give you some space to ask also some question if you have any question for them. So like for sure, everyone right now, if you're working in a SOC, I think you're using co-pilots. Why co-pilots, Omar? Why we're looking for the AI as a co-pilot? What is the difference between, let's say, the ChatGPT and the co-pilot? So let's go step like back. So the using of the AI is using for the triage for the incident. It is L1, L2, or L3, or the criticality of this incident or the complexity of this incident. We're using Copilot more than ChatGPT because Copilot, they have an agreement that we don't share your information. If you have a business agreement with us, we're not using even your information for a machine learning for our environment. So it's a full privacy there. We don't have to use anything for this one. So most likely the SOC right now they're using the Copilot for the incidents. Somehow people they start going for a cloud native. They don't look for an on-site and on-prem because it's more scalable. They have multiple solutions. You can integrate multiple solutions together. And the new generation, it is about the about the ZTNA and the SASE. That the ZTNA, it is looking like a VPN, but the difference between the VPN, the traditional VPN, and the ZTNA, it is more applicable for the zero trust, I can say, permission. That's mean when you assign, I can say, for someone access for your environment, you can assign it in the application level and inside this application on a specific service. But for the VPN, when you assign a connection VPN for someone to your environment, that's mean he's looking like virtually inside your environment, so he can go inside the whole network. But for the ZTNA, no, it should be in a specific application, in a specific, I can say, service and so that. So it's the new or the modern version of the VPN. And the SASE, it is a comprehensive solution that cover everything in one place. So for the complex environment, so as example, I was attending a session from Fortinet about their products from SASE, and really it is great. I think it's one of the most I can say, technical session that I have ever. They are very smart with their SASE solution. They cover everything inside it. Everything, I mean it. Yani, they have the VPN, they have the ZTNA, they have the anti-ransomware, they have an incident response. They have everything inside the SaaS solution. So the SaaS solution, it's about the vendors right now, they're trying to build something called one profile. That's mean you don't have to get multiple vendors at your environment. So as example, if you are Microsoft profile, I can provide you with the SIM solution, I can provide you with the threat intelligence, I can provide you with ADR, I can provide you with the XDR, mail security, mail defender for, defender for mails, defender for Azure, everything. So right now it's a war between the vendors. Everyone wants to have a one profile. So when you go right now, within the next 2 years, everyone will having a specific vendor. So if you are a Fortinet vendor, that's mean you have everything from Fortinet. If you have, let's say as example, Palo Alto, you have everything from Palo Alto. The IAM solution, the PAM solution, everything is from the same vendor. Yeah, and we talk about the skills for the SOC. It's about the detection engineer, as I said, that everyone should be specialized in something. Someone is a malware analysis, someone in the reverse engineering, someone in the threat hunting, someone in the threat intelligence, someone, I can say, the incident response, someone is in just the triage for these, I can say, incidents. Someone is, I can say, in sandboxing. Everyone should be, I can say, more specialized. We have to increase the, I can say, the automation for I can say, the playbook and the SOAR. As example, SOAR, we have Resilient. SIM solution, we have Logarithm, we have Sentinel, we have Splunk. So there is multiple SIM solution. It's not about one SIM solution. And we have multiple SOAR solution that you can provide for your environment. So let's agree that SOC right now, it's a must for any small, medium, and large entity. If you are not able to, or if you don't have the capability to build your SOC in-house, you can go for a professional service. Right now, there's a multi, I can say, company or vendors that provide you with a SOC as a service. So like they do the integration between your environment and their SOC planet, and they can do the SOC analysis for you. And like somehow, what's the thing that you have to figure out when you select your SOC vendor? You have to make sure that they have the threat intelligence. They have to get some automation. They have to get the SOAR, because you don't want to get a lot of tickets for your investigation while when they have a SOAR or they have, can say, some playbook, it will decrease by maybe 60%. So this is the most important thing that you have to take look and consider, take it into consideration while you're selecting your SOC, I can say, vendor. Perfect. Yeah. So for me,